2589天，是我和他之间的距离。
of schooling, the first Olympian from Southeast Asia in the pool. And I think today's going to be a good day for Singapore swimming. The first 2 days, we won 3 gold medals in each of those days. And today, I think we could possibly see 4 to 5 gold medals from Singapore.
Well, that sounds like a very, very huge ambition to take with them, but it is a huge possibility as well. For Zhou Schooling, this is the moment where we see what mood he is in and what form he is in. Triadi Fauzi will be there, all trying to beat him and take down an Olympic champion. Well, he's protecting a 10-race winning run in the SEA Games. He hasn't been beaten in the SEA Games in individual events since 2011 when he lost in the 200 meters individual medley. And we're also looking at time differences as well for the 100 meters butterfly, because I can tell you that the largest winning margin in the history of the 100 meters butterfly at the SEA Games happened in 1983 when Ang Peng Seong beat Tae Kun Hien by 1.85 seconds. Let's see if Joseph is able to beat that time.
I think it'll be tough, but you can never count out Zhou Schooling, right? So we'll see. I think if he hits 41 low, we could possibly see him beat that margin. Interestingly enough, and we were just talking about it, the second fastest person in this race is actually not swimming. Our own Kwa Cheng Wen, right?
That's right. Well, Zhou Schooling has only lost 1 butterfly event at the SEA Games, and it was, believe it or not, ironically, this race, the race that gave him the Olympic gold medal. It happened in 2011 when he lost to Huang Ki-Fok, who's also not in the field. Glenn Victor Sutanto perhaps has that boast because he finished in second spot ahead of Zhou in 2011 to say he beats Zhou on that day in itself when Zhou was making his SEA Games debut. All set and ready to go with the first event, and perhaps the most anticipated event of the day, only because an Olympic champion makes his appearance in the event that brought him all the glory and worldwide fame. The men's 100 meters butterfly as the athletes prepare to come out. The SEA Games record 52.13 seconds, the Asian record and Olympic record 50.39 seconds. Both of them owned by this man, Joseph Isaac Schooling. The lineup for the race: Huyn Mandat of Vietnam, who finished 7th in the 200 meters butterfly, swims in lane number 1. Let's see if Zhou is up for this now. A record in his sights. There he is. Since Ki-Fok's win in 2011, the Vietnamese haven't medaled in this event. Chan Tie of Malaysia in lane 2. He was 8th in the 50 meters butterfly. Triadi Fauzi, who set an Indonesian record in 2016 in Malaysia, is in lane 3. Glenn Victor Sutanto, who has medaled in 3 consecutive games, silver, bronze, silver, he's in lane number 4. And for the first time ever in the history of SEA Games swimming, we can say the words, "Here comes the Olympic champion." Dylan Koo, his compatriot, who was 2nd at the Commonwealth Youth Games, is in lane 6. Navaphat Wongcharoen of Thailand, who set a new national record at the Singapore National Age Group Champs earlier this year, he's in 7. And Nguyen Ngoc Huyn of Vietnam in lane 8, he finished 5th in the 200 meters butterfly. Chasing Schooling is the name of this game, while Schooling chases a record. The Malaysians are going to get a real treat here. An Olympic champion in a SEA Games event for the very first time. Dylan Koo has his very own ambitions of lowering his personal best time. He was 4th in the 50 fly and 5th in this event in 2015. The 2-time defending champion, of course, Joseph Schooling. Well, the big question here, Gerald, is whether Joseph Schooling is going to put on beast mode, because if he does, then we might see the first sub-52-second swim in SEA Games history. Now, before he came about, Joe Schooling, we were all amazed at the likes of Ki Fook and Daniel Bago clocking sub 54, sub 55. But that was what we term BS, before Schooling. That's a period that's almost unknown now, because since Joe has emerged, we are looking perhaps at the first ever sub 52 second swim in SEA Games history.
Yes, I think he's going to do sub 52. He's going to break that SEA Games record. That comes so naturally to him. Breaking 52 is something that he probably does in his training nowadays.
Triadi Fauzi keeping pace with him, but losing out right now. Joe Schooling going after the SEA Games record, becoming the first swimmer perhaps to go under 52 seconds at the SEA Games. He does 51.38 seconds, and he is 1.65 seconds ahead of Triadi Fauzi. Well, that's not the new largest margin of victory in SEA Games history. It is the third largest margin of victory in SEA Games history, but still good enough for gold medal and a new SEA Games record. The first man ever in the SEA Games to go below 52 seconds is the Olympic champion, Joseph Schooling, naturally.
Well done. I think this is obviously not his best time, but I think Joe is probably happy with it. You know, he broke his SEA Games record, so he's obviously improved from 2 years ago. And I mean, that's his goal coming in here, not to do a best time, but simply just to win this race and break a record if possible.
Well, Triadi came out very quickly, didn't he? The Indonesian who finished second to Joe in the 50 meters butterfly, trying to keep pace with Joe. And he actually did all the way through until the touch of the wall. And this is where Joe does most of his business, off the wall. After that, you are not living on the same estate.
I think Joe was a little bit surprised at the first 50 that Triadi was almost in line with him. He saw Joe maybe 3 strokes into the wall. He took a look to the right to see who was that, you know, kind of on par with me, right? But after the turn on the wall, the underwater, you saw that Joe just used that 15 meters again to his advantage. Triadi, obviously his underwater kick is good as well, but he did not use that whole 50 meters. No one can compare to Joe when it comes to that.
Absolutely, one of the best in the world. He's won it 3 in a row now, the first since Daniel Bago to win it 3 in a row. So he and Bago, the only ones to go 3 in a row in this event. And another SEA Games record for him, the first sub 52 second swim in SEA Games history, done of course by Joseph Schooling, who now wins his 13th gold medal, and 13 gold medals takes him 3rd on the all-time list alongside a certain Richard Sambera. What a start we have to day 3 of competition from the Bukit Jalil Aquatic Center, the women's 100 meters freestyle. When you look at the list of swims today, you talk about splash and dash, it seems like it's a full day of sprints, isn't it? Makes it so exciting in terms of the heart rate.
It is. And next up, we've got the women's 100 meter freestyle, another exciting event that I think Singapore has a chance to win the gold medal in. We've got 2 sisters coming up right now.
Yep, Kwa Ting Wen and Kwa Ting Wen. The 2 of them, of course, will be favorites alongside Jasmine Al-Khaldi, who look very, very comfortable in the heats this morning. And Ting Wen has worked on her, slowed down in the final 25 meters of the morning heats. That's the reason why she's in lane number 1. And Kwa Ting Wen was pretty quick in the morning. As we welcome the swimmers, led by Risa Dewi. Kwa Ting Wen, of course, who is in lane number 1, just ahead of Nguyen Tian Vien. Ting Wen is the defending champion. Since 2007, this title has either gone to Kwa Ting Wen or Nathanan Jongkrajang, and both of them are in the field. Before that, Jocelyn Yeo won it 7 in a row. So since 1993, there have only been 3 winners in this event. Will there be a 4th different winner now in this lady? Or will Kwa Ting Wen retain her title? Or will Ting Wen surprise as she did to her sister in the Singapore national champs? Here she is, the defending champion, Kwa Ting Wen. She's one of only 3 in the field to have cracked 56 seconds, and she has cracked it big time. 55.52 is her best. Nguyen Tian Vien, who finished 2nd in this event in 2015, she's in 2. Sapianchai Konchanan of Thailand, she is in lane number 3, personal best 57.12 she swam at the AYG in 2013. Here's the lady that a lot of Filipinos have pinned their hopes on ending their gold drought in swimming. They haven't won a gold medal since 2009, not a gold medal for the Philippines in female swimming since 1993. Kwa Ting Wen, well, if the title goes, can it still be kept in the Kwa family? She's already won a gold medal at these SEA Games. Nathanan Jongkrajang, Thailand's most successful swimmer, at the SEA Games is in lane number 6, champion in 07, 11 and 13. Nicole Justine Marie Oliver of the Philippines in 7, and Ressa Dewi, who is more a long-distance swimmer in the freestyle, good enough to qualify for the finals in lane number 8. Her personal best this year, 57.07, set at the Singapore Nationals. That is the SEA Games record. Kwa Ting-wen, the only person to have swum below 56 seconds at the SEA Games, and that happened in 2015. Well, Kwa Ting-wen's tactics throughout the years has always been to go out very quick in the first 50 meters. She did that as well in 2015, and she has gone out very quick in lane number 1 already, almost half a body length ahead of Jasmine Al-Khaldi, who is keeping watch very closely on Ting-wen's sister Jing-wen.
It's going to be tough for Ting-wen though, because she's in lane 1, so coming out on the first lap, she breathes to her left, so she can still see where the competitors are. When she comes back, however, on the return leg, she's not going to be able to see where her competitors are. So hopefully she takes this race out on her own, right, following her own strategy.
Lanes 1 and 2 turning first after 50 meters, and what a brilliant turn that one was by Kwa Ting-wen, off the wall already, using those butterfly kicks to perfection. The dolphin kicks doing superbly well for her, but Nguyen Thian Vien is coming right back. The Vietnamese on Kwa Ting-wen. Does Kwa Ting-wen have enough gas to hold on for the final 20 meters of this race? Thian Vien catching up very quickly, so too Jasmine Al-Khaldi, and so too Kwa Ting-wen. This is almost a dead hit finish, and it will be Kwa Ting-wen who's won it by 0.02 seconds against Nguyen Thian Vien, the closest race that we've had at the SEA Games so far, and she sheds tears of joy because she has managed to hold on at the last part. We thought she was struggling heading home, and how about that time? 55.74. That's an amazing quick time, not just by her, but everyone in the field as well to clock that time, and a superb race by Kwa Ting-wen to retain that goal.
Look at those emotions. I mean, this is not her first gold medal. She's obviously wanted this really badly. It looked like the Vietnamese girl in lane 2, Thian Vien, caught up with her a bit, but wonderful, amazing touch by Ting-wen. She put her head down, she did not breathe into the wall, and she really reached out. And I think that's why she managed to win this event, just basically from the flag in, right? The last 5 strokes, she really did not breathe into the wall.
Absolutely right. That race was won by the start, the turn, and the finish. Kwa Ting-wen managing to hold off Nguyen Thian Vien, who has to settle for silver yet again. And what an amazing victory. It was an easier one in 2015, but in 2017 she had to work hard for this. And boy, did she put in everything inside that race to win the gold medal. 3rd time she's won the 100 meters freestyle at the SEA Games, and that, by the way, the 5th gold medal, 5th individual gold medal in Kwa Ting-wen's SEA Games medal collection. And that puts her 5th on the all-time list alongside Nicolette Teo. Amazing times by all swimmers. You have to say, first time at the SEA Games that 3 swimmers have cracked 56 seconds.
Very interesting event, and we saw that after the event, Ting-wen straight away did not go for media interviews. She's going back to go and warm down, given that she's got 3 events today, right? And we know she has the 50-meter butterfly, where she's the defending champion as well. So good for her that she's going back, not doing media interviews, and make sure that she's back recovered physically for the next race.
Are there 4 more events to go? Because both Gerald and I are feeling breathless already after 100 meters butterfly. We thought that was a perfect start to the menu for the night. And then the 100 meters freestyle, the closest race that we've seen so far at these SEA Games. And as if that's not enough, our next one is probably the race that Gerald says that he's been looking forward to the most throughout the day, the 200 meters freestyle for men.
It is. It's a tough race because the 200 meters is not a sprint, it's not a distance event. So, you have both sprinters that are doing it, people that swim the 100 meters that are doing this 200 meter race, and you're seeing more of the distance guys, the 400 meter guys doing this 200 meter race as well. And you'll see very different strategies being played out. I think Key Folk, you probably see Key Folk take it out. He took it out very quick this morning. I think he's going to do the same thing as well this evening, take it out, and hopefully he can hang on for the gold medal. But obviously on the other side, you've got Daniel Bagel, who's swimming next to him. Daniel Bagel is known for his second half, right? He likes to negative split his 200 meters, and I love seeing him swim the 200 meters because he just comes back so quick on his second 100.
Well, let's not forget as well, there is a certain Danny Yeo in the field, and he is also a past champion in this event, having won it in 2011, and Singapore's hopes go with him and Pang Sheng Jin. But the hot favorites in the race will be Wilson Sim of Malaysia Well, on paper it looks like this 200 meters freestyle final will be between the Malaysian and the Vietnamese, but Danny might have something to say with it. Maybe there might be a final golden fling for a certain Daniel Bago. Well, Bago's scratched himself from the field, I believe, and they might have changed it around, or did they get the order wrong? Because on our list here it looks as if Daniel Bago is still in it. If he's not in it, then Putra has taken his place, and that is a real shame, because we'd love to see the reception that Bago would have gotten from the Indonesian audience.
That's strange, because he doesn't have any more events this evening.
Absolutely right. The 4x200 for men happens tomorrow night, so he can't be saying that he's saving himself up for that, unless something happened between the heats where he looked all right and the finals in itself. Well, that's a mystery to be solved by the inquisitive people here in KL. That's the defending champion, Hwang Ki-Fok. And that is the young pretender to the crown, Welson Sim, who finished third in this event in 2015.
In lane 1,
Afla Fadlan, who was second to Welson in the 400 meters freestyle, is in lane number 1. Tran Tan Thieu of Vietnam is in lane number 2. And then Singapore's Danny Yeoh, who actually beat Welson at the Singapore National Age Group Champ, so that'll give him some confidence. He is in lane number 3. And here comes the biggest cheer of the night. The last to win the 200 and 400 in the same SEA Games was in 2009, Daniel Bago. The defending champion, two-time defending champion, Hwang Ki-Fok of Vietnam, lane number 5. And a lane that was supposed to be Daniel Bago's has been vacated and given to Putra Muhammad Randa. There has never been an Indonesian winner in this event since 1993 when Richard Sambera won. Pang Shengjin of Singapore is in lane number 7. His personal best happened at the Asian Championships last year where he finished 8th. And Jesse Lacuna of the Philippines, who clocked a personal best this year in the heats, he is in lane 8. SEA Games record 1:48.96 set by this man. And I can tell you that he's already gone lower this year. He's got a time of 1:48.18. Both him and Welson, that you see on screen there, the only ones to have gone below 1:49. Danny Yeoh has gone below 1:50, 1:49.37 this year. So he needs to put himself in the reckoning very early in the race and not let go of that. What a magnificent field this is, led of course by Hwang Ki-Fok, the champion of 2013 and 2015, and Danny Yeoh, the champion of 2011, and Welson Sim, the man who is touted to become champion of 2017 in front of his home fans. As you predicted, Gerald, it is the figure of Hwang Ki-Fok who has gone off very early and gone off to a fiery start.
Exactly. I think as expected, Ki-Fok went out quickly, and I think he knows it because you know, Welson is more a middle distance swimmer. He's going to have the stamina to come back. So Ki-Fok knows that he has to go out a bit quicker, and hopefully, I think from Welson's point of view, he's going to try and stick as closely as he can to Ki-Fok, because he knows that if they turn together at the third turn, he's probably going to have a very good chance of winning it on the last lap.
It's a 100 sprinter in the 200 versus a 400 middle distance swimmer in the 200. And at the moment, the former is leading by 0.44 seconds. Danny Yeoh trying to stay in the map of relevancy, turns in 3rd spot. And then we have Pang Shengjun of Singapore in 4th spot. But Hwang Ki-Fok has a half a body length lead ahead of Welson Sim. Remember, these two have gone below 1:49 this year. Ki-Fok 1:48.18. And Welson Sim has gone 1:48.50 at the Malaysian Open. They turn almost side by side, and we're almost going to get the same finish as we did in the 100 meters freestyle final earlier on. Danny Yeoh in 3rd position for Singapore. Ki-Fok, who has gone off. And we know that Welson's a very strong finisher, and he's got to turn on the afterburners here if he's going to catch Ki-Fok. Ki-Fok of Vietnam still slightly in the lead, but he's turning to the right and breathing to the right, whereas Welson can see exactly what his rival is doing, and Welson Sim is coming right back at it. It's almost another close finish, and it will be Welson Sim winning it just ahead of Hwang Ki-Fok. and Singapore's Danny Yeo in third place. Another amazing race.
Amazing race, as we expected, right? I mean, that's what Wilson had to do. Basically, he really had to stick with Kee Fook for the first 3 laps. And if they turn together, or very close together, you know that Wilson's going to be able to take it home a lot quicker than Kee Fook did. But Kee Fook actually managed to hold up pretty well towards the last lap.
What a time that is as well. 1:47.79. The first Southeast Asian to go below 1:48. And if I'm not wrong, Kee Fook's also probably gone below 1:48 with that swim. Wilson said it at the start. His biggest rival was going to be the Vietnamese in his chase for the treble. He's beaten one of them already in the 200 meters freestyle, and he looks forward to the 1500 meters freestyle in a couple of days. Hwang Kee Fook tried to live and breathe off the walls, being that butterfly swimmer. He's very strong off it, and he was leading after 150, but in the final 25, Wilson all of a sudden went to gears 6, gear 7, and it was a version 2.0 of Wilson Sim that took over from here on and just nipped it in front of the Vietnamese.
Kee Fook actually came back towards the last 10 meters. You see that he didn't even breathe. So he caught up with Wilson towards the end. So I guess this really came down to the touch.
So the title goes back to Malaysia for the first time since 2009. And for the first time since 2009, Wilson Sim becomes the first person since that SEA Games to win the 200 and 400 meters in the same SEA Games. Danny Yeo in third position. He's done well enough to get into medal reckoning. 1:48.98 for Danny Yeo. And I believe that might be his personal best as well.
And Pang Seung-jin coming in fourth. I believe that might be his best time as well, 1:51.22.
It is his personal best time.
That's going to be a quick cracker of a relay team as well, the 4x200, when you add in the other 2 members, Joseph Schooling and Kwat Tung Won.
That's right. Well, that really took a lot out of him. We saw how comfortable he was in the 400 meters freestyle. He didn't have the same sort of comfort in this race because this time he was chasing. And that's a perfect shot, because a lot of people look at the swimmers, you hardly see their faces because they're underwater most of the time. You know, when they come out, shots like this tell you how punishing this sport can be.
And that's why I said this is one of the most painful events, right? Those guys do a 6-beat kick throughout the 4 laps. It takes a lot out of your body. It takes a lot out of you. The lactic acid in your body is crazy. It's a crazy...
Welcome back to the Bukit Jalil Aquatic Center as we prepare for the first victory ceremony, which goes the way of Joseph Schooling. The figure of Danny Yeo just walking off, rather disappointing, but I think he did pretty well, Danny, clocking a personal best. First time he's gone below 1:49, and he did it on the biggest stage in the region in the SEA Games, so well done indeed, Danny Yeo. But we have seen already, perhaps it has been the excitement of the night, excitement of the races, Gerald. I don't know what it is, but it has been a very emotional night so far.
Yeah, it has been. I'm not sure if Danny was actually quite disappointed with his swim, or was that like emotions of happiness, right? Because I think Danny has had quite a tough time over the past couple of years, and and as you just mentioned, this is his best time. First time he's broken 149. So I think he's just very, it's more coming from emotions of happiness rather than of being disappointed.
And the disappointment might be the fact that if you told him earlier on that if you break 149, he probably might have thought that, if I break 149 at the SEA Games, it might be a gold medal.
Exactly. I mean, this is another race that has improved so much, right? I mean, the two guys have really brought it to a different level. Kiefok and Wilson, they've really brought it to a different level to what it was before.
The good news for Wilson, is that Wilson? It is Wilson. The good news for him is that there isn't another event, because we saw how beat out he was by the time he came out of the pool. And it's a perfect time right now as we cut away from this to watch Joe Schooling's race all over again. The pain etched on the face of Wilson. That's for Joe Schooling. I don't know about you, Gerald, but for me, probably this race was won on the 13th of August in 2016, because the moment he won the Olympic gold medal, the rest of Southeast Asia was probably looking around and saying, there's no way we're going to beat this guy if he's going to be taking part in the SEA Games.
Exactly. Even within the Asian Games, right? Not just talking about SEA Games, but you talk about Asian Games. I don't think many people will think that they can beat Joe. Joe's start again is he's got such a great start, and I think he has a little bit of a different stance. It wasn't shown here, but what you see with Joe is that when he does his track start, he actually has a little bit more of a focus on his back leg rather than the front leg. Different people have different stance, but with Joe, the way he does it is, given that his focus on his back leg, his reaction time may be a little bit slower, but what he does is he acts like a slingshot to push himself forward, and that's why he's got such a great start. Some other people, when they start, they like to put the pressure more on the front leg, so you're a little bit more leaning forward, which tends to give you a little bit quicker reaction time, but definitely a lot less power than the other way. So I guess it really works depending on what your preference is and what works for you.
It certainly does work for Joe, because it's a known fact around the world. If you look around the world, it's a known fact that he probably is the fastest when it comes to the starts. He certainly is the fastest in the 100 meters butterfly, at least at the Olympic Games. Until the next Olympics, he's got 4 years for that boast. And this time, he almost came within a whisker of taking out the largest winning margin ever at the SEA Games. It is a new SEA Games record, as we mentioned earlier on. First to dip below 52 seconds, and it certainly set a precedent for the night, didn't it, Gerald? Because he became the first to dip below 52 seconds, and then Tingwen dipped below the SEA Games record, and then Wilson was the first to dip below 148, and sometimes that first race just gives the energy for the rest of the evening's events.
Yes, it does. So today's been a great start. Everyone's just breaking previous fast times, right? Previous records. So it's so interesting to see how Southeast Asian swimming is getting better and better. But I think one thing that's lacking in Southeast Asian swimming is the next generation of swimmers. We see that the time is getting quicker, but there is a big gap between the first tier of swimmers versus the second tier of swimmers, and hopefully we get more of that second tier swimmers coming in, especially when you talk about Myanmar, you're talking about Laos, some of the lesser known countries. They now have a swim team coming in here. I think hopefully they get the support that they need, whether it's having overseas coaches coming to their local countries to coach them, or they moving to the US or other countries to get some training.
Yeah, and that's something that I was about to touch on a little bit later on actually on the show, Gerald, and even for tomorrow, because there are a lot of long distance events tomorrow. That chasm between someone like a Viên and the next swimmer, I know we're always amazed by the fact that it's 4 or 5 seconds that she wins by, but that cannot be good for the region in the long run.
It's not, definitely not, right? And it cannot be good for her as well, because I mean she doesn't get the competition that she needs. Can you imagine if in a 200 meter backstroke or a 400 meter freestyle she had some competition, she could have gone quicker as well. So I think it's good that we bring this second tier of swimmers come up. Hopefully they can come up and give a bit more competition to the top tier swimmers.
It's something that Singapore swimming has done so very well through the years. I remember in 2009 talking with Ang Peng Siong in the studio, and I was saying that your women's squad have been pretty good so far. What about your men's squad? They haven't returned as many as you did. And he said in 2011 it's going to be a new men's squad, and they will deliver. And in 2011 we saw the likes of Teo Chen Ren at that time, Hua Zheng Wen, Joseph Schooling. They all came out, and they all came out blazing in Palembang. So that regeneration, at least from Singapore swimming, has always been apparent.
It's very important to keep that momentum, right? What we've seen in Southeast Asia swimming is that it tends to move around in cycles. Indonesia right now they've got quite some good swimmers, but where, for example, Thailand used to be a powerhouse with Ratapong, as you mentioned earlier, but now other than Kitin, we haven't really seen that many good swimmers come out of Thailand, and it's a pity, right? Given how good they were in the past, but I think you give them a few more years, you'll start seeing some good swimmers coming out from that country again. But it's important to maintain that momentum and not lose sight of it.
So the first gold medal, the first 2 gold medals and the first 2 victory ceremonies of the night will hear the Singapore national anthem after wins for Joe Schooling, convincing, and then a close shave, but a magnificent swim by Kwa Ting Wen. That is exactly what I mean by the difference between a swimmer and a racer. A racer knows how to win, and Kwa Ting Wen knew what she had to do and knew how to win by 0.01 seconds. Frustrating for Glenn Victor Sitanto. And sometimes when you look at the all-time medal list and you're looking at them and saying, wow, this guy should have won a lot more, sometimes it's being born in the wrong era, isn't it? For the likes of Sitanto. And you look at Kwa Ting Wen as well, it's just her 5th individual gold medal, but remember, she was living in the era of like Tao Li and all that kind of stuff. It's very difficult, and she missed the SEA Games as well in 2011 due to injury. So we have to take all that into account.
The medals will be presented by Her Excellency Miss Sim N.
2589天，是我和他之间的距离。
Nearly a fortunate deflection for Singapore, but Malaysia rounded up at the back. This is Shabuddin. Malaysia have gone a bit quiet in attack, and the share of possession finally coming to Singapore. 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
2589天，是我和他之间的距离。
51.38 seconds, Singapore!
Oh, it doesn't get old. Winning never gets old. Joe's the first to tell you that. Can you imagine that that announcement which went SEA Games champion? He was Olympic Games champion last year.
Hopefully he'll be Asian Games champion next year.
Yeah, that's right. And Commonwealth Games too. Let's not forget that. It's next year as well. And then world champion in 2019. And then defending Olympic champion in 2020. We've marked out his career path for him over the next few years. The national anthem of Singapore, once again delivered by Joseph Schooling.
ở nguyên. On thích tự mình làm mọi thứ như chế tạo trang bị chẳng hạn. Thay vì nhờ vả mấy tay chủ cửa hàng, ông thà tự rèn lấy đồ còn hơn. Và khi vị thần dê quyết định đã đến lúc giao tranh, ông dời non để bắt đầu. Chào mừng đến với tiêu điểm tướng On.
No further pleasantries needed.
On có hai nội tại. Đầu tiên là chế tạo tại chỗ. Nó cho phép On mua các trang bị không thuộc dạng tiêu hao vào bất kỳ lúc nào đang ở ngoài giao tranh. Khi cần mua trang bị thì bạn có thể mở cửa hàng ở bất kỳ đâu trên bản đồ và bỏ vàng ra như thường lệ thôi. Để tiện lợi hơn, bạn có thể nhấp vào các trang bị hiện lên trên thanh thực đơn này. Nội tại thứ hai của On là bậc thầy chế tạo. Nó giúp On và đồng đội mua được các nâng cấp đặc biệt của một vài trang bị trong cửa hàng. Mỗi tướng trong đội chỉ được mua một trang bị đặc biệt. Quy của On là núi lửa phun trào. On dộng xuống mặt đất, gây sát thương và làm chậm theo đường thẳng. Sau một khoảng trễ ngắn, một cột dung nham dựng lên ở tầm tối đa của kỹ năng, hoặc ngay sau tướng địch đầu tiên trúng phải, tùy theo cái nào xảy ra trước. Cột dung nham hoạt động như một bức tường nhưng không hất tung kẻ địch. W của On là thổi bể. On phun lửa gây sát thương dựa trên máu hiện tại của kẻ địch và tạo lá chắn cho bản thân trong chốc lát. Khi thổi bể được kích hoạt, On trở nên không thể cản phá, tức là mọi khống chế hoàn toàn vô dụng với ông cho đến khi kỹ năng kết thúc. Luồng lửa cuối cùng của thổi bể khiến bất kỳ kẻ địch nào trúng phải bị nóng giòn. Đây là một hiệu ứng mới trong liên minh nên tôi sẽ giải thích qua một chút. Khi bị nóng giòn, kẻ địch mất kháng hiệu ứng, một dạng giày thủy ngân ngược ấy. Những thứ như làm choáng hay làm chậm sẽ kéo dài hơn khi dùng trên các mục tiêu này. Kẻ địch bị nóng giòn nếu dính khống chế cứng sẽ chịu thêm sát thương, đồng thời bùa hại này cũng biến mất. Ngoài ra có một hiệu ứng chỉ dành cho On, đánh thường vào mục tiêu bị nóng giòn đẩy lùi chúng và làm bùa hại này biến mất. E của On là xung kích bỏng chảy. On lao tới, chuyển dịch vị trí và gây sát thương các kẻ địch trên đường lao. Nếu On va vào địa hình trong lúc lao tới, ông dừng lại tạo ra một đợt sóng chấn động gây sát thương và hất tung các kẻ địch gần đó. Kỹ năng này phá hủy địa hình do tướng địch tạo ra. Nó cũng phá hủy cột dung nham của núi lửa phun trào. Chuỗi chiêu cơ bản của On là lại đủ gần để nướng kẻ địch với thổi bể. Khi chúng đã chín và nóng giòn rồi, tăng thêm chút nhiệt với một cú xung kích bỏng chảy vào địa hình gần đó để hất tung. Nếu có thể xung kích bỏng chảy vào cột dung nham núi lửa phun trào thì lại càng hoàn hảo hơn. Chiêu cuối của On là hỏa dương hiệu triệu. On triệu hồi một tinh linh khổng lồ lao tới chỗ ông. Kẻ địch bị tinh linh chạy qua chịu sát thương, làm chậm và bị nóng giòn. On có thể tái kích hoạt kỹ năng này để hút vào tinh linh và chuyển hướng nó. Con dê sau khi được chuyển hướng sẽ gây cùng hiệu ứng như trước, ngoại trừ việc hất tung kẻ địch thay vì làm chậm chúng. Cẩn thận, hút hụt là quê như con dê luôn nha. Chiêu cuối của bạn có thể trở thành một công cụ mở đường hoàn hảo để đồng đội bồi khống chế. Để tinh linh dung nham giày xéo qua, rồi ghim chúng vào tường để chúng biết mùi. Bạn sẽ muốn tăng tối đa W trước, đó là kỹ năng đáng tin cậy nhất của ông. Khi có thể thổi bay cả đợt lính trong một hơi thở, hãy tập trung tăng tối đa E để làm xung kích bỏng chảy nóng bỏng hơn nữa. Nếu kẻ địch nghĩ chúng biết bạn đang có đồ gì, dùng chế tạo tại chỗ để che mắt chúng. Ở đây, On bí mật chế tạo vinh quang chân chính. Sau đó ông kích hoạt để dồn lít răng vào một góc và ghim hắn vào tường để đồng đội bắt kịp và chuyển thẳng gã người máy hơi nước ra bãi rác. Dùng nội tại chế tạo trang bị ở đường cho bạn lợi thế ngay lập tức trước đối thủ. Chẳng hạn chế tạo áo choàng ám ảnh từ sớm nếu gặp sát thương phép. Ghê hơn nữa, hãy nghĩ đến việc chế tạo giáp máu Wormhog khi còn thấp máu để tiếp tục ở lại bên đồng đội.
Good job, everyone.
Khi sử dụng On, nhiệm vụ của bạn là đem giao tranh tới. Hỏa dương hiệu triệu có tầm xa cố định, nên hãy cố gắng đặt nó ở một điểm có thể cắt ngang đường kẻ địch. Tiếp đó, tránh xa mọi khống chế để chuyển hướng chú dê dung nham. Tổng kết lại bằng một pha giao tranh tổng đi. Bạn bắt đầu giao tranh với 2 lần đi về của hỏa dương hiệu triệu. Trong lúc bọn xấu bị hất tung, dựng cột trụ của Quy lên và sẵn sàng tiếp nối với một cú xung kích bỏng cháy. Trụ lại trong giao tranh với thổi bể để kích hoạt bùa hại nóng giòn thường xuyên nhất có thể để hạ gục kẻ địch. Cảm ơn đã theo dõi Tỷ Đựng Tướng On. Đập tan những đường dẫn nóng bỏng bên dưới để tìm hiểu thêm về ngọn lửa khởi nguyên nha.
Freestyle, and then the 4x200 meters freestyle relay. He's slated for all relays. Tomorrow will be his final individual race at these 2017 Southeast Asian Games. As we await a victory ceremony for the 100 meters freestyle. Still to come, the 50 meters butterfly for women, the 200 meters backstroke, where, yep, it'll be the victory ceremony first. Before that, 200 meters backstroke, where Gerald, you won your final medal, I believe, at the Sea Games in your career in this pool. A bronze medal here in 2001.
So. My first, and I won my first medal in my 200 meter backstroke, and my last medal in my 200 meter backstroke. So the first one.
Vẫn chưa có mạng tiếp theo dành cho các thành viên của WWE. Squid vẫn chưa phải nằm xuống, nhưng mà quan trọng hơn là WWE đang hướng ra con Baron này. Đây là một con Baron mà ý dậm lên. Thấy Ben rồi, nhưng mà Ben là một vị tướng hỗ trợ. Nếu như bạn cặp về tướng hỗ trợ thì nó không có nhiều ý nghĩa lắm.
Squid có tốc biến.
Squid có tốc biến. Squid vẫn chưa hồi lại cái bola băng của mình, nhưng mà trong khoảng thời gian này Squid vẫn có thể chờ để hồi lại bola băng. Squid tốc biến lên hơi sớm một tí, nhưng mà vẫn có cơ hội lấy được. Baron vẫn dành cho Squid và dành cho các thành viên của Newbie. Bọn họ lui về với 4 người còn sống. Con đi vừa rồi đã làm gì khi trừng phạt của anh ta vẫn còn?
Lượng máu của anh ta thấp, anh ta lùi ra, anh ta e ngại những tình huống tấn công bên phía đối phương và anh ta vô không kịp, và nói chung là đó phải cho tranh chấp trừng phạt rất tự tin của Squid. Anh ta tốc biến xuống, anh ta gây áp lực trực tiếp. Này tâm lý rất quan trọng nha. Khi mà tranh chấp Baron thì tranh chấp những mục tiêu lớn thì tâm lý của cả hai người chơi đi rừng đều rất quan trọng. Các bạn có thể thấy trong tình huống này, Ben anh ta cố gắng câu kéo nhưng anh ta chưa hồi lại bất khuất. Anh ta bị cóc mò nhổ cho tới chết, không có cơ hội cho Ben có thể sống sót. Và pha trừng phạt này Squid làm tốt hơn. Nhưng tôi nhìn không nhầm.
Cái sai lầm của con đi là vừa rồi anh ta sử dụng kỹ năng lăn bụng của mình trước
thoát ra.
Không, anh ta lăn vào á.
Oh.
Anh ta lăn vào trong tình huống vừa rồi. Nếu như cái tình huống đó, bởi vì cái khoảng cách của bạn sử dụng trừng phạt vừa rồi của con đi là vẫn có thể, chứ không phải là phải lăn bụng vào mới đủ tầm. Nhưng cái mà vừa rồi con đi, cái động tác của bạn hưởng còn đang lăn bụng vào thì cái đó bạn không thể nào quăng trừng phạt ra được. Trong đó thì
lăn bụng trừng phạt được.
Nhưng mà giống như kiểu
nó khiến cho anh ta bị mất thao tác
đó,
tay.
Đó, ý tôi nói là như vậy đó. Ý tôi nói là như thế đấy, chứ bạn lăn bụng bạn vẫn có thể.
Cái nghĩa tay không nhanh. Kiểu như phải tập luyện đế chế để trở thành chim sẻ đi nắng thứ hai.
Anh ta không có ghệ, cho nên chúng ta phải chấp nhận là tay anh ta không nhanh được. Thường thì khi nào bạn có ghệ thì chắc chắn là bạn sẽ có những tình huống highlight với cái tay nhanh của mình.
Là sao? Không hiểu. Là tức nghĩa là chơi game.
Tôi nghĩ anh nên suy nghĩ sâu xa đi, anh nên suy nghĩ sâu xa là
theo như quan điểm
gánh đồng đội ấy, gánh người yêu của mình mỗi khi chơi game đó. Ý tôi là như vậy đấy anh.
Vậy hả?
Đừng nên hiểu nhiều quá chúng ta.
Tôi tưởng là chơi game xong rồi được ghệ massage tay cho chứ.
Không, massage tay thì tay ốm nhanh, tay nó còn mềm nhũn hơn nữa khi mà được thoải mái quá.
Bây giờ bùa lợi Baron thuộc về cho các viên của phía Newbie đó. Trận đấu liên tiếp được chuyển cái lợi thế dành cho cả hai bên. Đội này có chút xíu, xong đội kia lấy giật lại ngay lập tức. Giống y chang như ván đầu tiên luôn. Tức nghĩa mọi thứ bây giờ chênh lệch vẫn đang về tiền nghiêng cho WWE, nhưng bên phía bên kia có bùa lợi Baron. Họ sẽ câu kéo thêm một khoảng thời gian nữa, và khi họ câu kéo đủ ngưỡng sức mạnh của Cockmore cũng như là Lucian của Coco ở thời điểm hiện tại anh ta thua đồ nha. Nhưng về sau nếu như anh ta bổ sung cho mình thêm những món trang bị, anh ta sẽ trừ đi lượng giáp của phía đối phương để khiến cho những người đồng đội của mình đồng ý Cosmo gây lượng sát thương phép, nhưng cái việc mà đối phương không có giáp cũng vô hình dung khiến cho cái lượng đam vật lý của Cosmo nó vẫn là có.
Nhưng với cái món vừa rồi hồi nãy Cosmo lên thì có lẽ như cái nỏ thần bây giờ nó còn lâu lắm mới có thể lên được. Cái mà quan trọng của Cosmo bây giờ đó làm sao để cho đối phương mất càng nhiều giáp càng tốt. Nhưng mà nhìn lại thì đối phương có tới 3 khoan từ từ. Con đi mất tốc biến của mình để tránh khỏi tình huống tấn công của đối phương. Và Mystic vẫn có thể bắn được, anh ta bắn làm chậm người của Squid và Squid không có nhiều cơ sở để lao lên tiếp ở trong tình huống đó. Newbie vẫn thủ được cái trụ thứ 2 khu vực đường dưới này, bọn họ đã mất trụ thứ hai, rồi, bọn họ còn một trụ thứ 3 nữa. Đây là cái trụ dàn ngoài mà rất quan trọng dành cho Newbie nếu như bọn họ không muốn y chang như ván đấu trước, đó là cả 3 trụ bảo vệ nhà lính đều mất hết.
Mặc dù có bùi lợi Baron nhưng bùi lợi Baron này của phía Newbie chỉ mục đích là thể phòng thủ mà thôi, đợt lính được đẩy lên rất cao. Bên phía của WE họ vẫn đang làm chủ được thế trận, các bạn có thể thấy đội hình
là người lợi thế hơn về mọi thứ ngoại trừ cái tình huống vừa rồi không lấy được con Baron và không giành lại được con Baron trong tay của Newbie. Nhưng cái quan trọng hơn là đây là con Baron dùng để phòng thủ của Newbie chứ không phải là con Baron dùng để tấn công. Và không có điều gì đặc biệt hơn nữa. Cái nhiệm vụ của họ bây giờ vẫn sẽ y như cũ và y như Linh nói là làm sao câu giờ, câu càng lâu càng tốt, câu để cho tới khi nào mà EOWX có được những món trang bị hợp lý cho mình. Nhưng cái tốc độ lên trang bị bây giờ của EOWX nó sẽ bị chậm đi rất là nhiều khi mà anh ta không được farm. Trong khi đó thì Mystic rất thoải mái bỏ qua, bây giờ không cần nhắc tới cái 346 con lính mà hiện tại Mystic đang có 900 mà hãy nhìn kìa, 9 mạng WE ăn được nó đều cho Tristana hết. Trong khi đó 5 mạng mà Newbie ăn được đều không hề có sự xuất hiện của Mystic ở trong cái chỉ số cây này. Đó là chúng ta cũng đã
thấy con đi bị giữ lại nhưng anh ta đang thu hút tài nguyên của phía đối phương. Trời, em rất lật về.
Keep it down nice and low to her right post.
Your favorite mums are coming back. Lion Mums Season 2.
So that might take some time because the other swimmers are already in the call room, but gold, silver and bronze from the women's 100 meters freestyle are also competing in that race. And it will be some time before it happens. But very, very happy. Whenever Kwa Ting-wen wins and you see what happened with her, I believe it was, what was it? It was a broken elbow or something like that, right? That she suffered when she was in the USA.
Yes, it was. And it was while she was surfing. So I think that's why she's been so emotional. Is because, I mean, she obviously had a tough time in 2011 when she didn't qualify, after she recovered from her elbow surgery. And it's been tough for her. And I guess that's why, she's now been very emotional after winning this race.
Malaysian fans are waiting for Wilson Sim to receive his gold medal, but it's not going to happen until a couple of races from now. He won in the 200 meters freestyle, and we hope he's okay, because when he came out of the pool, he could hardly walk. It looked as if it was body cramps that were just about to hit him before he went into the warm-up pool.
I think it was. He kept saying cramp, and I think it was his legs. Again, right? It shows because he's primarily a distance swimmer where they don't use so much legs. Whereas this race, he was doing a 6 big kick throughout. He's probably not used to using his legs as much in his other events, the 400 and 1,005 that he's been known for. So it really took a lot out of him.
Well, but it was also another clear example of a racer versus a swimmer, because he knew how to win, he knew how to race, and was all about winning. So no matter what your strokes look like, no matter what you're doing inside the water, I have to touch the wall first. So even if it looks a little bit clumsy in the end, which it wasn't, you have to do it in order to win. And Wilson Sim has proved to the rest of Southeast Asia that he has belonged into the category of racer at these SEA Games. So we're waiting for the women to come up in the 50 meters butterfly event, which will feature a couple of Vietnamese bookending the field. Nguyen Diep Phong Trom. And speaking of the 200 meters freestyle, we can have a look at that race again. Wilson Sim winning at the death against Wang Ki Fook, who came out so very quick, lightning quick, I have to say.
Wilson executed a perfect race. I think, he pretty much knew what Ki Fook was going to do. Ki Fook has a lot of speed. We both know that, we all know that Ki Fook was going to take it out quick, and, hopefully he'll build a lead that he could sustain throughout the race. Wilson probably knows the same thing, right? So that's why what he tried to do was just pretty much stay within Wilson, Ki Fook's range, and then so long as he turns together with Ki Fook on the third lap, Wilson's got as good a chance as anybody to win that last 50.
And he did. Wilson Sim just ahead in one of the closest 200 meters freestyle races ever in the history of the SEA Games. And that's what it means for you to win in front of your home fans. I'm sure that last 25 meters, he would have heard the cheers. A lot of people always have this belief that, you're a swimmer, you're in the water, you can't hear anything. But trust me, they can hear the cheers of the crowd.
They can, especially when it's a home crowd, right? When they're cheering for you, you definitely can hear it. And it makes a world of difference, right? Not many times, there are not many competitions in Southeast Asia where you get a good and a big audience. This is one of the very few that you have a good, sizable audience watching you and cheering you on.
And this venue as well, although it's a little open, somehow when the crowd create a din, you have swum here before, Gerald, when the crowd create a din, it is pretty noisy and very partisan.
Yeah, it is. It echoes throughout the arena, so it can be very, very loud.
Well, is this a victory ceremony now? And at least they prepared the flags. It's supposed to be, but I guess they switched the order around a little bit in order for the girls to prepare slightly longer. If that's the call from the organizers, we say well done to them, because that's very good improvisation to actually put this victory ceremony ahead of the 50 meters butterfly race. So the victory ceremony might take place right now for the 200 meters freestyle. We are assuming that Wilson is able to get back up and walk there for that. But tomorrow in the 4x200 meters freestyle for men, with Wilson Sim winning here, I know that Singapore have got that absolute brilliant quartet. But with Wilson winning here, the Malaysians might be up for it in what could be a Singapore versus Malaysia race, just like it was in the 400 meters freestyle relay.
It could be. Obviously, for Malaysia, they've got Wilson and they've got Daniel Bago that, we were surprised didn't show up in the freestyle. But, third and fourth place in that race was, we had Sung Jin coming in fourth, and we had Danny coming in third, both in personal best times. And we already know that Joe Schooling is going to do it, as well as Zheng Wen. So it's a pretty strong foursome quartet that we are looking at for the Singapore team. I don't know who the other two swimmers from Malaysia are and whether they can keep pace with the four members that we have in the Singapore team.
Battle that's developed between these two. There have been withdrawals. Nguyen Van Hue, the defending champion, withdrew after two events. Mohamed Lukman Zuki did not start. But this is the start for the men's decathlon. Event number 9, the javelin. So what we have is a battle between Sinkon and Toledo developing, while Bui Van Su is trying to consolidate his bronze medal, if not increase that. It's too much to ask of Mibunya to make up anything in the decathlon. He missed out on a height in the pole vault. As a result, did not register any points. And it's Bui on the far side of your screen toward the right, in between the two. As Sinkon was closest to your screen, a smile and a joke. And then Adisak Mibunya was sitting in between the two as we look at the flame. It burns ever so brightly here at the National Stadium, Bukit Jalil National Stadium. And overseas, such grand athletics, such a wonderful venue, and expecting some wonderful athletics. Javelin set to get underway, and Sutisak Sinkon among those who've been warming up. First round, he's easily over 60 meters is Sutisak Sinkon. We wanting to get a throw of over 60 meters, put real pressure on Henry's Toledo in the final event, the 1,500 meter. So Sinkon trying to launch the javelin as far as he can. Another event that requires a great deal of technique. That javelin placed nicely in the crease of the palm. Oh, didn't really like the look of that. And for somebody who's able to throw a javelin over 60 meters, for it to land near the 40-meter mark gives you an indication of just how unhappy he's likely to be with that. Needs to make the javelin count. Oh, he looks a little happier. Range of emotions. So unhappy that he deliberately stepped over the line. Frustration with himself, and stepped over the mark deliberately. There we go. So we'll register a no throw first up. He doesn't want to have that embarrassing effort on his card. And what he needs to do is produce a decent effort. Bui Van Su, North Vietnam. That's a better effort. That's a much better effort. So over 50 meters. Certainly take that. Well, the tail misbehaving ever so slightly, so not the perfect release. And there's still some meters to be gained. Trying to get that shoulder rotation, that turnover very quick through the air. Be careful not to overstep the mark. So Bui Van Su will register a first throw of 50.91 meters.
Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita beri tumpuan ke acara perjam jumping tackle disiplin ke-9 di mana ke-11 Paris Toledo dari Philippines akan membuat perjam.
So here is Toledo now. Trying to build up some momentum. Oh, how close was he to that line? Well, it's up near 50-meter mark, but did he overstep? How close was he to that line? Well, no indication that he is overstepped. He was flirting with that line. Gets the javelin out towards the 50-meter mark. It just looked like that right foot had gone onto the line. Perhaps upon reflection and video evidence, perhaps not. So he registers 49.49. A decent effort. A little knowing nod from the man who's currently second in the javelin for the decathlon. Adisak Mibunya, fourth overall. This is his first round throw. I'm trying to get a little effort behind that. Well short of the 50-meter mark, but a good 45 or so meters.
For women, where Singapore have the Kwa sisters, Tingwen and Jingwen, and alongside them as well, Christy Mei Chu and Rachel Seng swimming in that quartet. First though, the 50 meters butterfly final. Gerald, do you think this is going to take its toll on Tingwen? That 100 meters freestyle race certainly took a lot out of her. this race might be short. If she wins it, we'll take a lot out of her. And how would she be going into the 800 meters freestyle relay?
I think the 100-meter freestyle is definitely going to take a lot more out of her than this race. This race will be over in less than 30 seconds. It's going to be quick. A quick 50-meter one lap. She'll probably take 2 breaths, 3 breaths at most. And then right after this event, what she'll need to do is really get into the warm-down pool right away. You'll see her skip media interviews. Make sure she just goes down to the warm-down pool and do maybe 20, 30 laps just to shake it out, warm herself out for the relay.
We certainly hope so. As I said, bookended by a couple of Vietnamese swimmers, including the record holder who leads the field out. It is not Nguyen Thi Vien, one of a few records she doesn't hold in Vietnam. It belongs to that lady, Nguyen Dep Phong Thom, and her national record is 27.60 seconds. A Seagames record held by Thao Ly. In fact, only Thao Ly's won this event in 2011 and 2015. If Ting Nguyen wins, Thao Ly might not be here, but at least the crown is still kept on a Singaporean. And looking at the times, and Ting Nguyen probably the only one in the field to have gone below 27 seconds. And that was a personal best she set last year at the Singapore National Age Group Champs, 26.76 seconds. And this year, at the start of the year, she has been in good form as well, winning the Age Group Champs and the National Championships. Janjira Srisaad might be the dark horse with the way she starts races. Very, very quick off the blocks. And so too Jasmine Al-Khaldi. Might have something to say here, having lost to Ting Nguyen already in the 100 meters freestyle. So here is the Vietnamese record holder, Nguyen Dep Phong Tram, who was 8th in this event in 2015. National record 27.6. Nurul Fajar Fitriati, who won the silver in the 100 meters backstroke. She's in lane number 2. Then Janjira Srisaad, the Thai national record holder, 27.24 seconds she set when she won the ASEAN University Games in Singapore last year. She's in 3. Ting Nguyen, the fastest qualifier, in lane number 4. Her best time this year, 27.04. Jasmine Al-Khaldi, the Philippines national record holder, with a time of 27.47, which she set in finishing 3rd at the last SEA Games. She's in 5. Nicole Teo of Singapore, who's already swum in the SEA Games and finished 7th in the 200 meters butterfly. She's in lane number 6. Adinda Larasati Dewi of Indonesia in lane number 7. She swam a personal best of 28.55 in the heats to get into the final. And Nguyen Thi Vien, who finished 4th in 2015 in this race, she is in lane 8. Her personal best was that 4th place finish, 27.67 seconds. As we've seen already, not much of a 50 meters swimmer, but still trying to do the unthinkable and beats this lady who is the premier sprinter in Southeast Asia, Kwa Ting Nguyen.
Could you please be quiet prior to the start of the event? Thank you.
And looking at the times this year, Janjira just slightly behind Ting Nguyen, and then Jasmine Al-Khaldi just behind them. Will they finish in that order? 1, 2, 3. But we all know how quick Kwa Ting Nguyen is. Yet again, it is Janjira Srisaad who's gotten off to a very quick start, but underwaters from Kwa Ting Nguyen just absolutely superb. But she's playing catch-up against the Thai girl all over again. Jasmine Al-Khaldi getting back into this race, but it is Kwa Ting Nguyen who is slowly inching ahead of Janjira Srisaad, who doesn't have the engines to finish off this 50 meters race. Kwa Ting Nguyen slowly inching ahead right now, just slightly ahead of Janjira Srisaad. Jasmine Al-Khaldi can't keep up with her. It will be Kwa Ting Nguyen winning yet again by 0.11 seconds ahead of Srisaad, and Al-Khaldi in 3rd position.
What an amazing swim by Ting Nguyen. And I don't think she took a single breath in that race. I was trying to count, and it looked like she just swam the whole way without taking one single breath. Amazing finish again. And this speaks to your point. She's a competitor, she's a racer. She definitely could see the Thai girl next to her.
Not far away from her personal best time at 26.83 seconds, and this came after she swam the 100 meters freestyle. So she swam 2 races today and won them by a combined 0.12 seconds in the 100 meters freestyle and then the 50 meters butterfly.
Such an amazing swim from her. But as expected, the Thai girl again, right? She's got probably what we call fast twitch muscles. So quick off the blocks. She probably led it for almost 90% of the race, right? And then towards the end, we just saw Ting Nguyen overtake her slightly, reach the wall with her long arms.
She didn't have enough gas in her to finish this 50 meters off, and Kwa Ting-wen certainly punished her for it. Jasmine Al-Khaldi will have to pick up another bronze medal behind Kwa Ting-wen. So Tao Li's vacated the crown, but Ting-wen saying, I'm ready, and she stepped up to it. This time, not as emotional. The smile has probably and finally surfaced on Kwa Ting-wen. Gary Tan, a happy camper, as we'd expect, and now he will want to get her off the pool as soon as possible to get ready for the 800 meters freestyle relay. Brilliant swim by Kwa Ting-wen. So too Janjira Srisaad, who only becomes the third Southeast Asian to dip below 27 seconds with a new national record, and Jasmine Al-Khaldi of the Philippines in third place, 27.27. That's also a brand new record for her. 27.86, Nicole To, let's give her credit as well. Well done to her in her very first SEA Games, finishing just outside of the medal placings. Nguyen Thi Vien in fifth, and the Vietnamese record holder Diep Phong Tram will be a little disappointing to take up the rear end of that race.
I think we could see Ting-wen getting 3 gold medals this evening, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it could be the Kwa evening, because if Ting-wen wins, we could see the Kwa family take 4 or 5, because Ting-wen's inside the 4x200 meters freestyle relay as well. What a night it will be for the Kwa family, Mr. and Mrs. Kwa.
Probably the first time ever 3 siblings getting a goal on the same evening.
Probably. It will be hard to find out, I can tell you that, but most likely. I mean, we've had some very famous swimming families, not just in Singapore, of course, the Chan family. But not just in Singapore, but we've also had them in Southeast Asia too. Let's not forget the Setsathorn family. We've had the Sution family. Through the years, there have been a lot of them. And of course, let's not forget my co-commentator himself, Gerald, the Cole family too. I mean, what is it with the families being swimmers? Is that the fact that you actually have someone in that family itself to compete with you every day at training?
It is. And always the younger one wants to beat the older brother, right? So as I was saying just now, you know, Ting-wen and Ting-wen both swimming in the 100 meter freestyle. And then when I mentioned that Ting-wen wanted to beat the older sister, I know exactly how that feels, because my brother and I, Desmond and I, both swam in the 200 individual medley at the SEA Games. We were both finals. And, you know, I wanted as badly to beat him, right? Because he's been the older brother, the more accomplished one, and I know exactly how she feels in that race. And right after this, Ting-wen and Ting-wen are going to swim in the same relay, which was what I did. So it's a little bit strange, right? I mean, obviously competing against your brother or your sibling, wanting to beat them, but at the same time, you're both in relays together as well, and that's when you want the best for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And it's family bragging rights, as they call it, you know. Just beating your brother alone sometimes is good enough. Kwa Ting-wen will be red-hot favorites in this race. Red-hot favorites, as Gerald was saying earlier on. As hot a favorites as Joe was in the 100 meters butterfly, as he was yesterday in the 200 meters butterfly. This, the 200 meters backstroke for men, which did not have a heat, so we only have 6 finalists. And Kwa Ting-wen is ahead of the rest of the field this year by a huge margin. I can tell you that he is ahead of the field by at least 3 seconds in this race, with the personal best times clocks this year. Paul Nguyen of Vietnam, bronze medalist already in the 50 and 50 fly and back. He's in 2. Francis Fong of Singapore, who finished 3rd at the Commonwealth Youth Games in this event. He is in lane number 3. He was also 2nd at the national age groups. And Kwa Ting-wen, the defending champion, trying to win back-to-back titles at the Games. The last to win back-to-back titles in this event was Alex Lim back in 2005. Ricky Anggawijaja of Indonesia, who prefers this to the 50 meters butterfly and the 50 meters back, I should say, where he finished 8th. Jerapong Sangkawat. The Thais have never won a backstroke event in men's swimming at the SEA Games. So I think they've switched the lanes around for Paul Nguyen and Tran Doi Khoi of Vietnam. Doi Khoi finished in 2nd spot back in 2013. That was Vietnam's first silver medal since 2003 in Hanoi. So all set and ready to go. They'll take the plunge into the pool. And Gerald, let's have a talk about this start as well for the backstroke and how these swimmers grip, because there have been talks about different techniques of gripping the board and different techniques of actually getting off.
It is, but now they've got that little ledge that you can see. I mean, when I was competing, we didn't have that ledge, and obviously that start is very important.
So we'll let Gerald talk more in this race than ever before, because this was his race that won the bronze medal, and Hua Tseng-Wen in lane number 4, the red hot favorite, has gotten off to a good start, followed very closely by Dui Khoi of Vietnam.
I think this is going to be a race for second place again, right? Tseng-Wen's going to be out quick. I mean, he's going to lead throughout the race, as you can really see it here. But you know, I'll be very excited to see how Francis Fong does it. Who's in swimming in lane 3. Francis has a very, very unique way of swimming the backstroke. We'll watch it in a second. He actually seems like as if he's swimming butterfly while on his back. You see him having that bouncing motion, which is very unusual.
Absolutely right. That's just beside Tseng-Wen, the one in black cap. It will be Tseng-Wen in the lead after 100 meters. And usually when you take it out in this race, what has been your tactic for the 200 meters backstroke?
I'm more of a distance swimmer, so I usually hold back from the first 100. Try and go as comfortable, what we call easy speed in the first 100. Third lap is always used to build it up, you know, slower to the fastest, and then you try and hit the third wall going into your quicker speed. And on the last lap, it is really just closing your eye, gritting your teeth, and you know, just hoping that you hit the wall.
So Hua Tseng-Wen, the lead not as big as we expected to, but Francis Fong, look at him, he's slowly coming back into it now. And does he have enough to push Hua Tseng-Wen right to the wall in the final 50 meters? Francis Fong of Singapore is swimming superbly well to turn in second spot, just ahead of Tran Du Khoi. He's just 0.39 seconds behind Tseng-Wen, but Tseng-Wen once again using the whip and bouncing off the wall so very well.
Francis has a very good chance of winning this. Just look at that. Look at Francis's stroke again, right? You can see him bouncing up a number. He looks like he's really got an opportunity to win this race.
This will be a huge surprise if it happens, and will be the surprise of the games thus far. Hua Tseng-Wen, I think, finally realizes that Francis is so close to him, deciding to just speed up just a little bit, and he touches home first, just ahead of Francis Fong, 0.40 seconds behind Hua Tseng-Wen, and Angga Wijaya of Indonesia in third place.
What an amazing swim by Francis. I'm actually super excited for Francis. This is his first SEA Games. I think he's only 17 years old. That's such a great time. Coming into this race, I think his best time was only a 2:03, and he's improved significantly. Look at him. I mean, he's shouting like he's won the race, which is, you know, it's an amazing race that he's swum.
He almost beat Tseng-Wen, and Tseng-Wen beat the SEA Games record. That's how quick Francis Fong actually went. There we go. We're just talking about the starts and the different grips that they have on the boards to take themselves off. Hua Tseng-Wen, we've alluded to already so many times now broadcast how good he is in terms of the starts. And Francis was actually 5th after the first 50 meters, and then he suddenly came into prominence, being 3rd after 100 meters. And the next thing you knew, he was 2nd after 150 meters, and then bouncing home and almost catching Tseng-Wen.
I think with the backstroke, it's also a little bit easier to focus on your own race, because you're on your back. You don't really see where your competitors are, unlike the butterflies or the freestyles where you see where your competitors are. So in the backstroke race, you really have to go by feel, know how you feel at the first, second, third, and fourth 50. You know, you don't really see many of your competitors unless it's someone next to you. And it's great to see how Francis actually swam what we call his own race, right? He did not follow Chung. He did not follow the other swimmer next to him. He was 5th on the first lap, as you mentioned, but basically swam his own race and did it to perfection.
Well, let's know the final results and see the time for Francis Fong. It definitely is a new personal best. I mean, if he is that close, 2:00:49, how about that? That's shaved his personal best by 3.15 seconds. That's a lot to shave off.
That is a lot to shave off. Yeah, absolutely right. I think most people will be happy with a 1 second drop in a 200-meter event, and he's basically sliced off 3 seconds. But that was funny. I mean, Tseng-Wen just said, wow, that really hurt.
I'm sure. And if Tseng-Wen says that, then you know it's the truth, because that really did hurt for him. Pain is gained, though, for Hua Tseng-Wen, because that gold medal means it's 8 individual gold medals for Hua Tseng-Wen now. And guess who he has caught up with in the all-time medal list for Singapore males? He is now joined with Ang Peng Siong on 8 gold medals, and his SEA Games career has just begun.
It's good. I mean, it was a hard swim. Francis was really pushing me all the way. But yeah, I mean, just glad to pull out the win for Singapore.
What do you do? Is this a tough moment now? Because, you know, after the race,
days before your race? Yeah, I was just watching her finish, and the 50 fly was really risky, so we're just having a good laugh over that.
How special is it to be racing with her and watching her win as well?
I mean, definitely very happy for her. She's had her ups and downs coming out of college swimming, so I'm just really happy to see her bounce back, doing very well.
So I know for all three siblings, about the parents feeling?
Haven't talked to them. We'll see after the games. Definitely very proud of my younger sister as well. I mean, coming off 2015, I think she's doing a lot more. I think she's exceeded everyone's expectations.
You want to go back to doing backstroke?
Oh man, if you could feel what I was feeling right now, I don't know if you'd be doing backstroke either. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely keeping consideration. Yeah, I mean, I'll be doing backstroke for a while more for sure.
How confident are you to win the 100 back?
Pretty confident. Yeah, like I said, 50 is never my thing. And yeah, I swam pretty well tonight. So we'll just see how it goes tomorrow. I mean, it's definitely very special to have both my sisters on the same meet as me. Hasn't happened all that often. First time in 2015, second time now, I think. So yeah, I mean, it's just nice to have that family support, and yeah, really solid. They've been my rocks throughout. Yeah, nothing more to say.
Chuck, how do you find KL 2017 so far? Has it gone your way for your siblings and yourself?
Definitely a little bit harder than 2015. Even with the lighter load. I think just coming out of World Champs really puts you in a different state of mind. So just really tired right now. And yeah, it's just kind of different.